Welcome back. We are here live from Paris, coming to you, of course, with the eagerly awaited second results of the vote. Actually, we have just gotten in as we've come back that after the second round of voting, Izmir, Turkey has been eliminated. So it is now down to Dubai and Ekaterinburg, Russia. Those are the top two. We will wait to get a full update on just how the vote played out in the second round, but Izmir, Turkey has been eliminated from the competition.
It is getting closer and closer today. Of course, we will be finding out who has just won the right to host Expo 2020 in the next probably hour and a half. So do make sure you stay watching Dubai One. You can also follow us on Twitter at Dubai One TV or at Omar Bushi or at Katie_Fielder. We are coming to you live from Paris. We're joined once more by Anne-Elisabeth Moutet from the Sunday Telegraph and Anu Kassinat, who's joining us again as an international political analyst. Thanks for staying with us.
Thank you.
I guess just before we'll hopefully cross soon to the headquarters to hear a little bit more about how the second vote played out, but let's take the conversation in a slightly different direction, looking at the legacy of the World Expo. I mean, again, we've referred to it many times, but it's hard to miss it. It's sitting right behind us. That's a very obvious one. But for Dubai, if the bid does go forward, they have their World Trade Center, which is going to be custom built for the Expo, but will continue to be a functioning building as things go on. What are some of the other, I guess, favorite legacies that you maybe think of, Anne-Elisabeth?
Well, I can think straight away of other buildings in Paris, the Grand Palais, for instance, which was supposed to be a temporary structure and is still a museum going very strong right now with a great Georges Braque exhibition as we speak. And you've got the Victoria and Albert in London. I always think that I don't think there's specifically a building left of the 1929 World Expo in Barcelona, but there you have the Barcelona chair, which was designed by Le Corbusier specifically for that exhibition, which was the exhibition that showcased the Art Deco style. And that's what we remember of it. There must have been lots of technology as well, but it is something that is absolutely epoch-making in the history of 20th century art, of indeed art at all times. So that's something that has left a very powerful legacy.
Absolutely. We did just get a few results there of the second round of voting. We got that Dubai received 87 votes this round, so that's 10 more votes than the first round. Definitely some momentum picking up there. We will give you the exact numbers as well for Izmir and Ekaterinburg.
I think Izmir's got 36 votes. We're still waiting to hear about Ekaterinburg as well, but Dubai 87 votes, Izmir 36 votes as well. In terms of looking at some of the previous expos, we're just highlighting some of the ones back in the early 1900s. But I think one of the most successful ones today certainly has to be the recent one in Shanghai. We saw a record number of visitors. We saw record spending as well. How important are those big figures to the future of the expo? Is that something that we should be looking for in 2020? Record spending, record visitors. Is that what's important to the host today?
I think we should not be focused only about the figures. Shanghai wanted and China wanted to spend a lot of money to show to the world that they were able to organize such an event and they were able to spend that money. It was also very important diplomatically for the other countries that were making pavilions. Also for them to put a lot of money in the pavilion, given the fact China is a superpower. China has 73 million of tourists came to Shanghai.
Most of them were local guests, weren't they? It was only around 5%. They were actually international guests.
Yeah, indeed. But we all remember the Shanghai Expo because even if only a few of those tourists were locals, all of the media were there. So it's actually at least as important as having a lot of tourists. For Dubai, we cannot expect to have 73 million of visitors. However, I think much more foreigners are going to come to Dubai than Shanghai.
You're right. I think it's thought that it's going to be around 70% potentially of international visitors. It would actually make Dubai potentially the most international expo ever visited then. So time will tell. We will know in the next hour and a half. In the meantime, let's cross to Eunice Safe, live on location down for the BIE vote. Eunice, you've got the official figures for us.
Katie, Omar, excitement keeps on growing by each and every round. I mean, Dubai is leading by 87 votes compared to the runner-ups, Russia, who are following Dubai by 41 votes. Turkey, of course, Izmir is out. So the final round is between Russia and Dubai. I've asked a lot of questions, but I have been told the same thing. If Dubai is leading by 40 votes, the chances that Dubai could win are very high. Back to you.
Thank you, Yunus. Well, definitely very good news there, but obviously, you know, we have to wait for that final round to see how things develop. But
Yeah,
fantastic
time will tell.
news.
Some very strong competition, some very worthy winners, Ekaterinburg or Dubai. Whoever will take home the crown for Expo 2020 are certainly going to deserve it. And I don't know that it'll be the last time that we're going to hear from either cities. I think so many times in history we've seen cities that weren't potentially successful one time go on and be successful for another bid, whether it's an international or one of the smaller expos as well.
Let's take a quick look now at part of Dubai's bid, at the people of the UAE.
For me as a photographer, I like the faces. I can see a lot of different expression. It gives me good inspiration to take pictures.
Something that I really like for me as an architect is to see how this city is growing. All the time it is moving, it's changing.
The days are prime flying times for the Falcons as well. It's really beautiful.
You have your freedom to follow whatever you want.
In Dubai, all the restaurant quality is amazingly good.
I love the mixed ethnics and cultures and minds. This is what I love about Dubai.
There's definitely an energy, a buzz, and an excitement, and you gain a lot of experience a lot quicker here than you would in other parts of the world, I think.
I love meeting new people. That's the cool thing about it, you know, the world just comes to you here in Dubai.
The fact that Dubai is so centralized, I'm a flight away from most of the key cities in the world. Can't beat that.
The amount of outdoor sports and activities that you can do.
Each kid dreams something, or each man dreams something. My passion and my life is sailing.
It's amazing. I love living in Dubai. The kids can play in the parks.
My favorite thing is playing football with my family and my friends.
My favorite thing is Wild Water.
You don't go to work. You go to the places you love. It's the most gorgeous place in the world.
Well, a great cross-section of Dubai's multicultural society there. Definitely a good example of why Dubai is an international city and hopefully will be the city to host the Expo 2020. Now, just a quick recap for people tuning in. Of course, the second round of voting has been has completed. Dubai again in the lead at 87 votes. Coming in second is Ekaterinburg with 41 votes, meaning, of course, that Izmir, Turkey, has been eliminated with 36 votes. Very, very close there between Izmir and Ekaterinburg. Dubai looking like it's in good shape, but we still do have the final round, and we'll see how things develop there.
That's absolutely right. As the temperatures drop outside, the competition is heating up. Now, Anne-Elizabeth, I know you have to go very shortly, but I just wanted to highlight the fact, I think in that short video we just saw there, diversity, different cultures, certainly central themes for the Expos right from the beginning, hasn't it? It's been about bringing cultures from all over the world together, different societies, and it's something that Dubai's done for a long time. 203 different nationalities living in the Emirates today.
Yes, I was reminded of the Olympic bid of London for what turned out to be the widely successful London Olympics in 2012, and that was the same thing. And I remember that my native city, Paris, went and said, "We are Paris, we are beautiful." And Boris Johnson and the English team, and especially one member of the English team, who's a great sportswoman, Princess Anne, came in and said, "We're different. We've got all sorts of colours and nationalities," and they won. And I think that is really you cannot be just one thing anymore. You have to be diverse, you have to be open to various influences, you've got to be open to the future and not closed in a sort of museum sort of way. And I think that is where Dubai probably has a real chance of getting there. It's the way of the times.
Now, Arnaud was mentioning this earlier, but I'm going to direct the question back to you. This idea of momentum both as the vote goes on, but also just for the region as a whole. You know, Qatar hosting the 2022 World Cup. You know, if this does indeed go to Dubai today with the Expo, do you think we might get the third, I guess, of the crown jewels, which would be the Olympics? Could that ever come to the Middle East? What are your thoughts?
I don't know, and to be honest, it's a very different thing, and there have been already questions about, I think there was a tennis tournament somewhere in the Gulf in which the Israeli athletes could not compete when a Tunisian tennisman refused to play the Israeli tennis person, and he was told to do so by his federation. They themselves knew one another, and I think the one thing that will definitely win the Olympics would be if the Olympic spirit is kept, and if everybody of every belief, different beliefs, contrary beliefs, but if they can all compete in the spirit of the games, and that would win it. I think that kind of commitment will win it.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully that's something that we, you know, again, if we do see a successful bid here for Expo, moving forward, obviously with Qatar and the World Cup in 2022, we'll hope to see that kind of spirit come out, the Olympic spirit, or whatever it is. I guess the international spirit of
Expo spirit.
Expo spirit.
There
for
is
today.
such a thing as a forward momentum, and I think when people are happy, you know, it makes it easier to go towards peace. I'm pretty sure of that.
Absolutely.
Oh,
well, of course, that's a lovely sentiment. On that note, we'll take a quick break here. We'll be back with more, of course. It is now the third and final round of voting. We're waiting to hear the results on that sometime in the next hour.
Russia versus the UAE. Won't be long, so make sure you keep watching Dubai One.
Welcome back.
Back all together now.
This is how excited we are. Same time.
We are coming to you live from Paris. The voting is in the third and final round. To find out just who will be hosting Expo 2020, we have Russia versus the UAE, and it's starting to get a little bit tense here at the desk. Now let's just recap the second round voting. Dubai was leading the way with 87 votes, Izmir with 36 votes, and Yekaterinburg with 41 votes. So 2 cities left. Who will win? We will be finding out within the next 45 minutes, hopefully.
Absolutely. Now, of course, in the first round of voting, Dubai also came out on top with 77 votes. Sao Paulo was eliminated from that round. Russia has been in second place, though, in each round of the vote. So they definitely have some momentum there. And, of course, traditionally, the vote is quite close when it goes into the final round. So we'll see how it develops. Now, just to, I guess, look at some of the other elements that have gone into Dubai's bid, into Dubai's experience, of course, putting forward and bidding for the World Expo. Let's take a look at this report.
On a solid ground of security and political stability, the Emirates built its balanced economy that made her immune from global economic risks. Today, it is categorized as one of the safest and most secure countries in the world.
You take these concrete achievements to this forum and you say, well, why not Dubai? Why can't the Middle East do that? And I have a good feeling. I think the team has done a fantastic job. We at the Foreign Ministry, of course, have played an assisting role, as we do in major, all major national undertakings.
What I did enjoy about the location is that it exudes a business atmosphere that you see business delivering on expectations.
For the 7th year in a row, the Emirates reinforced its economy's ranking internationally and jumped to the 23rd spot on the Global Competitiveness Report of 2013. Issued by the World Economic Forum in Davos. It was the only Arab economy in the Economies Based on Creativity and Innovation report, and was top in the Arab world and 5th internationally in the survey of economic freedom.
When we take that word commitment, we know that Sheikh Mohammed is committed to the UAE, he's committed to Dubai, and he's committed to development. He's committed to challenges that he sees that are essential in achieving this development.
Succeeding in different areas made the citizens of the UAE one of the happiest people on earth, according to the UN. The results of the Happiness and Satisfaction Survey showed that the people of the Emirates, the happiest Arab citizens, and in 14th place internationally. The government's efforts and its different sectors helped the UAE to achieve first place in competence in financial policy. It was first in Arab countries and fifth internationally in the field of enabling cross-border trade. From the eternal calmness of the desert to the noise of crowded markets, Dubai provides activities and shopping fairs throughout the year. Visitors to Dubai are fascinated by the massive activities and events that pack the city, a beacon of stunning and outstanding locations. The United Arab Emirates depends on its strategy to bring happiness to its people, therefore making people's satisfaction as an indicator of success. All hearts stay united for the decades to come, towards unlimited success and loyalty for our beloved United Arab Emirates. This combination of efforts combined for the UAE to hold the front seat across many fields. It's brought together by a political will that draws from the past and brings in the ability to challenge and unify, to build a country that is for the benefit of its people and that sharpens political determination to continue to lift the country to where it should be, to continue to be a pioneer and to stand out amongst the rest of the world.
Well, of course, a big thank you there to Tom Urquhart for reporting on all of Dubai's plans for the Expo 2020. We are now well into the third round of voting, third and final round, where we will find out whether Dubai has indeed got to the Expo 2020 or whether it will go to Ekaterinburg, Russia.
Now, we've just been told it will be very, very soon we find out the results. Of course, the first round took a little bit longer than expected. Usually it takes around 40 to 60 minutes for each vote. As you said, we're well into round 3, and we could be finding out maybe in the next 10 minutes or so. We've got our fingers and toes crossed for
Everything
Dubai
possible
to win. Whether it will be the UAE or Russia who takes home the vote, we will be finding out soon. Now, in the meantime, the wonderful guest sticking around with us, international political analyst Anu Castagnier. Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you.
Now, as we really are at the final round of the voting now, and I'm wondering which city do you think would actually benefit from winning more?
Well, as a symbol, I think Dubai would benefit a lot, because it would not only be a victory for the city, it would be a victory for the country and for the whole region, and even for the as we said previously, for Africa and the Middle East. People in Ekaterinburg would benefit as well, because you actually need to build a lot of infrastructure. So they're going to have a bigger airport and bigger and better infrastructure. But the buildings that need to be built in Ekaterinburg are pretty massive. So I think it would be more risky for the International Bureau of Exposition to give it to Ekaterinburg, because of all the work that needs to be done.
Absolutely. Well, we will hopefully find out more whether whichever country, whether city wins. I mean, obviously there are benefits for both, but we'll find out more in just a moment. We are expecting the announcement, the final announcement, this evening in just a few minutes, very, very shortly. We're going to take a quick break, may even be back with that final announcement. Welcome back. We are coming to you live from Paris, where the last round of voting at the BIA headquarters here is underway. We are, of course, waiting to find out if it will be Dubai or Ekaterinburg, Russia, which gets the bid. We are, of course, waiting to hear that hopefully in the next 10 minutes or so. It has been a very exciting day. We've been getting in, information in drips and feeds down from the voting as each round has gone on. And so far, Dubai has been in the lead each round, but Ekaterinburg, Russia has been the first runner-up. They're in second place each time. So it is still very much a close contest.
Absolutely, it's very close. And of course, over the 162-year history of the Expo, the event has showcased some extraordinary technological achievements, including the Eiffel Tower you can see behind us just now. So let's take a look back at the history of an event that's changed the world. The very first World Expo was held in London, 1851. This great exhibition was organised by a committee, including Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert. It attracted 6 million people. The exhibition was held in the Crystal Palace, exhibiting innovations in technology, such as the first fax machine and early photographs. The event moved between London and Paris, then crossed the Atlantic in 1876 for Philadelphia, introducing the public to the telephone and the typewriter. In 1889, the Eiffel Tower was commissioned as the entrance archway to the Paris Exposition. This new wonder of the world attracted 50 million visitors to the city. Through the 20th century, the World Expos have served to showcase new technology. The 11th edition in 1915 in San Francisco celebrated the completion of the Panama Canal, linking the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, and allowed the city to complete its recovery from the devastating earthquake of 1906. In 1956, Brussels used the event to transform and rebuild its city centre, still reeling from the effects of the Second World War. In Vancouver in 1986, the theme was transport, and the Expo allowed the construction of a system that still serves as a model of modern integrated transportation around the world. At Expo 2010 in Shanghai, China, 200 million came to witness what the world had to offer. The next World Expo takes place in Milan, Italy in 2015, under the focus Feeding the Planet, Energy for Life. And as we wait for the announcement of who will host 2020, a look at the history of the World Expo shows us that the legacy of the event will last for generations to come.
Welcome back. Of course, we are still waiting for that final announcement now in the third and final round of voting, whether it will go to Dubai or Ekaterinburg, Russia. And staying with us is Arnaud Castagnier, who's very graciously, sticking around to the end of the party, if you will. Arnaud, I wanted to look, as we are right in the middle of this third round, we are waiting for that final announcement. It could come any time now. Considering the way that the voting has gone up until this point, where do you think the voters that were, or the delegates who voted for Turkey, who are they going to go to? Are they going to look to the next, next best option, which would be the other Middle Eastern bidder, or Dubai, or do you think they might go towards Russia?
Well, for the final round, it's all about behind the scenes. And I do believe that a lot of people who voted for Izmir and who voted for Turkey would prefer Ekaterinburg to win, because if Izmir because if Izmir bid for the next time, Izmir is still going to be able to be the first city in the Muslim world to host such an event, and I think for the symbol it's very important.
Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned that. Do you think there's also maybe a degree of competition that goes into it? Do you think perhaps the Turks may feel that if another Middle Eastern or Muslim city was not bidding, that they might have had a better chance?
I think for such an event there's no solidarity, especially when two cities from the same region, let's say, from the same region, bid for the same for the same event. There's no solidarity. It's all about negotiations, and I don't know. Perhaps the Turks are going to vote for the Russians, and for another competition, you know, that will give something in exchange. It's it's all about behind the door and behind the scene discussions.
I mean, I guess looking at the numbers that we had last time, 41 and 36 for Izmir. If you put them both together, they're still not up to Dubai's tally last round, which is 87. But if that does happen, I mean, do you think we might see a shift in momentum? How might that play out? It would still be a very, very close vote.
Yeah, I remain very optimistic for Dubai, because even if Turkey may lobby in favor of Ekaterinburg, you cannot convince all of the delegates to vote in favor of the city you want them to vote. So I think in the end Dubai is probably going to win, but I don't want to bring
no. Again, no jinxing here, but it's looking fairly positive. Great.
I mean, if Ekaterinburg was somehow able to potentially win, it would be such a transformation. You consider that only 3 decades ago it was really a closed city to foreigners under strict Soviet rule.
Yeah, and to be honest, Russia still has a lot of issues regarding foreigners. We previously saw the video showing about Dubai, showing how foreigners and Emiratis are together in favor of this bid. I'm not sure Ekaterinburg could say the same. There are a lot of issues regarding security for foreigners in Russia, and regarding all of the values around the World Expo, values of fraternity. You know, you bring all of the humanity together. I think it could be a bit sensitive, and it would be a strange message to send to the rest of the world if Ekaterinburg would win against Dubai.
Absolutely. I guess looking at, let's take it back a little bit. Let's look at that last round, Izmir out. What do you think? It was very close. I mean, 36 to 41. When you look at the tally between them and Russia, why do you think that they did come last in that round? What were the factors that didn't quite push them over that edge?
Izmir, I think that their bid was very good, and the fact that they've chosen global health was actually very smart. However, I'm not sure Izmir is a global city. I mean, Izmir is not, even if Izmir has a lot of inhabitants, and I think it's pretty similar to Dubai, Izmir is not seen as a global hub, and I think it's very, very relevant in such a competition that you need to give the organization of a World Expo to a global city, to a city who's acting as a hub between different regions. So in that sense, I think I don't see Ekaterinburg winning for the same reason.
All right, well, we have to wait and see.
We are mere minutes away from finding out who will be taking home the Expo 2020 bid. For an update, let's cross now to Yunus Saif. He is live on location down with the BIE, and he will have all the latest news for us. Yunus, what do you know?
White balance? They need white balance. Yes, I was just inside. Still a lot of excitement. I mean, I wish I could take you guys inside and show you what's happening. Most of the camera crews are camped right in front of the entrance of the Dubai delegation's room, as if they know that they expect Dubai to win. But we will get you the results within, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes, where we can tell you exactly how and when what country has won.
15 minutes, how things are developing. Now, we're going to cross live to our reporter Priyanka Dutt, who is actually standing by at the Burj Khalifa downtown Dubai right now, I guess joining in or getting in on the excitement as we build towards that final vote. Priyanka, what's going on down there?
Yeah, but hopefully we will be crossing to Priyanka. Of course, we've missed her while we've been over in Paris, but she's been finding out all the latest news down in Dubai. We will be crossing to our reporter Priyanka Dutt down by the Burj Khalifa in the next couple of minutes.
Absolutely.
I know I was asking you before, if Ekaterinburg was to win, how would they sort out their security problems? As we were talking a little bit before, of course, it's well known for a very well-known assassination of Tsar Nicholas II and his family. It went on then under strict Soviet rule. They had problems with gang violence. In fact, they were the murder capital of Russia in the early 90s. Not something they probably want to be known as. Has that changed? Have they broken away from that? Is security still an issue?
Security is still an issue in Russia for sure. We had the same problem with such.
Oh no, sorry, I have to stop you there just for a moment. We'll pick up in just a moment.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. We did. Okay. Oh no, sorry. Coming back to you, we were just with Priyanka Dutt live downtown, bringing it back into discussion. Katie was mentioning. Absolutely. Okay. All right. A little confusion there, but it's fine. All right. Oh no, thank you for bearing with us.
This is live television, people. This is what happens when you're live from Paris.
Absolutely. Shifting things across, I just want to talk about how impressive I think this is. You know, we're down to the final round. You have Russia and the United Arab Emirates, sort of, an old power and maybe a new emerging one in many ways. What do you think this says about the world we live in today, the state of the world, how things have changed? How is power shifting? What do you think this means?
Oh, it's a very deep question.
A big question.
Yeah. Obviously, it shows for Ekaterinburg. It shows that Russia is back in the international area, but Russia has already shown it organizing. Given the fact that they're going to organize both the World Cup and the Olympic Games, so Russia is already back on track. For Dubai, it's showing that the world is changing, and now you have global hubs everywhere and in each region of the world.